With National Conference Vice President Omar Abdullah staking claim for the formation of a new government in Jammu and Kashmir, President's rule in the Union Territory has been lifted. What does President's rule mean and how was it imposed in Jammu and Kashmir? I'm Apoorva Mandhani and we're back with a brand new episode of KYC or Know Your Constitution, in which I'm going to answer all of these questions for you. Now, Article 356 of the Constitution talks about the President's rule. It says that if the President is satisfied that there is a failure of constitutional machinery in a state, President's rule can be declared in that state. Essentially, Article 356 is designed or crafted to be invoked when a state cannot function constitutionally. What this entails is that the President can assume all or most functions of the state government, and the powers of the state legislature can be exercised by the Parliament instead. The usual procedure for imposition of the President's rule is that the governor sends a report to the Union Cabinet explaining why the state government cannot function according to the Constitution. The Cabinet then considers this report and recommends that the President invoke Article 356 if it agrees with the governor. The President then has the discretion to impose the President's rule or not. Now, as per this provision, President's rule is valid for 2 months unless the Parliament extends it for up to 6 months. Extensions beyond a year are only allowed if there is a national emergency or if the Election Commission certifies that holding assembly elections is difficult. However, the Constitution does not describe what constitutes failure of constitutional machinery in a state, making the misuse of the provision a very common concern. Now, in 1994, in the landmark S.R. Bommai case, the Supreme Court observed that the powers under Article 356 are extraordinary and must be used sparingly. This judgment by 9 Supreme Court judges hailing from 8 different states put some very crucial limits on the union government's discretionary power. As for Jammu and Kashmir, President's rule was imposed in the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir under Article 356 of the Constitution on 19 December 2018. This was after the erstwhile state plunged into a political crisis in June that year, after the Mehbooba Mufti-led coalition government was reduced to a minority following withdrawal of support by the 25-member BJP in the state. But because Article 356 of the Constitution is not applicable to Union territories, this is from a PIB notification that you can see on your screens right now. The President rule was revoked on 31st October 2019. As per the same notification, since the Legislative Assembly in the new Union Territory was not in existence at the time, in order to avoid any constitutional vacuum, this is again a phrase that the PIB notification uses, based on the report of the governor of erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, a presidential order was issued on 31st October 2019 under Section 73 of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, imposing President's rule in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir this time. Now, let me just come to this provision that I just mentioned, which is Section 73 of the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019. This provision is, in a sense, has its own provision in case of failure of constitutional machinery. It says that on receipt of a report from the LG of the Union Territory, if the President is satisfied that the administration of the Union Territory cannot go on in accordance with this 2019 Act or for proper administration of the Union Territory, the President may suspend the provisions of this law and can make such provisions for administering the UT himself or herself. What has happened now is that the Union Territory finally had assembly elections after a decade-long gap. The result was the National Conference winning 42 seats, the NC winning 42 seats, with its pre-poll allies Congress and CPM securing 6 and 1 seats respectively. Since then, independent candidates and a single AAP MLA have also committed their support to the NC, raising the alliance's total. The lifting of the President's rule will now allow this elected government to function in the Union Territory, of course, with the LG, and this elected government therefore will have its own challenges. My colleague Neelam Pandey had done a video on this, and I'm going to add a link to this video in the description of this video. Neelam Pandey's video speaks of the challenges that the new government may face, so do check that out as well. That's all I have for you today, but we are going to bring you regular episodes of KYC or Know Your Constitution again, so stay tuned for it. This is Apoorva Mandhani for ThePrint.